What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to CM Aviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. And today we have massive unboxing number 65 for you all. I hope all of you are excited for today's video. Today is the Airlines International 2025 unboxing. And as you all can tell, we have a bunch of models. We have, I think, like 25. So very well deserved. Super excited to get into this, everybody. I hope all of you are as well. We're just going to start one by one and start unboxing them, everybody. We have a bunch to get into. I hope all of you are excited for it. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, welcome to the Airlines International Haul. So I hope all of you are excited for this. It's going to be super cool to take a look at all what we have here, and it's safe to say that we have a bunch going on. So let's just go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, I have quite a bit of airline memorabilia, and what I'm going to do, and along with just other items in general, is there's one particularly that I want to show you all first, and then that will help us here for the unboxing of the models a little bit. Layover Layouts was there, along with many other really awesome aviation vendors, and I got this really cool panel from him that he was using on display. This is a really cool heavy hybrid setup. So you have these two gates along with this hybrid. So this is going to be absolutely perfect here for our video today, as we'll be able to get the aircraft on here and get them with a good display. So we use this as we start to unbox these models. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely awesome. So with that said, this is going to be a little bit of a tougher setup, everybody. I'm making the most of what I have. I don't have enough room in my current accommodations to make a very, good setup. So the back of the car is going to have to work, and obviously we have quite a few boxes here throughout as well. So let me just go ahead and get this situated for us, and I hope all of you are excited. Once again, I'm certainly really eager to bring you all such a unique setup and vantage point and all of that. So this is going to be really cool. So let me go ahead and get it situated, and we will go ahead and get started. Alrighty, everybody, welcome everybody to the Airlines International Haul. So I hope all of you are excited for this. Super excited to get into this, and safe to say we have quite a unique setup. So we have a bunch of models, so we're just going to get as good of a comprehension here as we can of each one. Obviously with the setup, it's going to be a little bit tougher, so we're not going to waste any further time and go ahead and get started. I'll kind of go in chronological order of how I got these and some unique pieces of them all. So let's just go ahead and get started. So our first aircraft here, everybody, is going to be the Gemini Jets 1:400 scale Saudi Boeing 787-9. And when I saw this release, I really wanted it, and I always say this about so many aircraft that I really want them, and it's always tough to pull the trigger, but this was too good an opportunity. Got this from DG Pilot. Got the standard box here, not too much in the way of different details and so forth. Here's the pamphlet right here, along with the Saudi 787-9 itself. This is a really cool livery, and I know this is my third one, so I'm going to have to make some decisions on what I want to sell and so forth. I'm sure you all can assume that. But nevertheless, really excited to get this aircraft here today. This is going to be really cool. Let me go ahead and take the plastic off. And there it is, everybody, the Saudi Boeing 787-9 by Gemini Jets. This is such a good looking aircraft. It's very good in the intricate details, and overall, I think it looks absolutely phenomenal. So let me just go ahead and put the box off to the side, and we will go ahead and take a look, everybody. And safe to say, that is a stellar aircraft in so many different ways. Really good job on the detail, and yeah, that's a really good looking aircraft. And also this board, we will do a more in-depth video on it coming up, but it's really cool. And thank you so much, Layover Layouts. Y'all are awesome. Have made so many great mats, and so glad to get to feature them more on the channel here, especially with such a cool design. So yeah, the Saudi 787-9, really cool aircraft. Very excited to have it. I think it will be really good for the collection, and overall this is a really cool piece of the puzzle. So with that being said, we won't waste any further time and go ahead and get started, everybody. And again, doing my best with the setup, but the lighting's good, right? So we did get the good light, and that's very exciting. So with that being said, we won't waste any further time, and go ahead and get this camera as even as I certainly can and get started. So here's the cockpit windows up here, along with the nose cone, looking quite nice. You got the actual radar dome itself and the tinted cockpit windows. You got the Saudia titles, Sky Team right here. You got the L1 door, nose landing gear door look quite nice. Really good job here. I like the Saudia billboard titles. They look really good. You got the antenna along here with the L2 door. You got first class up here, along with a couple of other products, and overall it is looking quite nice. By the way, that's the center runway, so you're going to hear quite a few planes from this American bank. It's about to wrap up, but nice to get some cool planes in there for sure. Anyway, you got their native language right here as well, and some various panel details right here, and you get the wing root. So obviously this is the two-piece mold, which is phenomenal. Gemini does a great job on it. You also have the air inlet right there looking very nice, and you got the actual engine. Overall, phenomenal detail. It looks really good, and certainly very happy with their efforts right there, so that's really cool to see. Looking over the middle of the aircraft, you have the wing flex, which is non-existent, which is awesome. That's what you want to see. You have very good intricate details, very straight lining. Overall looks really sharp. And the back of the aircraft also looks very nice. You got the main landing gear back there and all the details you'd want to see. L3 door looks very nice, and obviously it's a white livery throughout, so not too much crazy elsewhere. And then of course you have the Saudi colors, so you start with the light blue, the navy, the dark green, and then obviously the light green, and then you have their really cool logo The registration is Hotel Zulu Alpha Romeo Bravo. And then of course you have the horizontal stabilizers as well. They look very nice and the details are very intricate, very down to the detail, and overall it's just absolutely phenomenal. So let me just go ahead and zoom out so you all can get a little bit of a top and bottom profile. Top of the aircraft looks really nice. I think they did a really good job on it, and certainly very happy to see that right there. Bottom of the aircraft looks just as good. I like the big Saudia titles, and the air inlets once again look phenomenal, and stand holes really good. So overall, this is a really cool aircraft and certainly looking very nice. So certainly very happy to see it. And yeah, that is a really good start to the video. So I got to decide kind of how I want to do this here, because while this setup is pretty good, I still got to, you know, find ways to make it work with the plastic and so forth. I'm also using the suitcase as a chair, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to, but hey, all for it. So continuing here with our new Gemini Jets releases from this May 2025 set, we have the United Boeing 787-9 SAF, Sustainable Aviation Fuel. So very excited to have this aircraft as well. When I saw this as an opportunity to buy this aircraft, I thought it was too good of one to pass up. This is a really good looking plane and very glad to have it. So Gemini box, you have the actual aircraft right here, Boeing 787-9. And then taking a look here at the sides, not too much crazy in the way of other details. Here's the back of the box as well. Pamphlet looks really good, and the aircraft inside. So yeah, overall looking very nice, and I'll do model reviews on several of these in the upcoming months, so you certainly can expect quite a bit of good variety. And with that also said, with the good variety, you'll also be able to expect you know, the variety of boards to be used and so forth, but really getting into the details of these aircraft. So yeah, 2025, I wouldn't say it's been a light year collecting for me, but it's been a little bit less, just simply because of, you know, releases and not having time to buy aircraft. So I really went all out at the show, and I'm very glad I did, so that I'd have a bunch of really good aircraft to work with. And quite frankly, I've just been waiting for a good time to get all of these. So yeah, what a better time than to show and obviously be able to drive to it and, you know, be able to get to feature it. So let's bring this in a little bit closer for y'all to see the United Boeing 787-9. So very good looking aircraft. This one is sharp. I'm really glad to have it, and it is certainly a really cool piece of the puzzle. So getting a nice look at it here. So yeah, looking very sharp. What are we waiting for? We won't waste any further time and go ahead and get started. So let me go ahead and zoom her on in without getting to 5x, because I don't want it to be too bad of quality. There we go. So let's just go ahead and get started. Cockpit windows, very similar with tinted and so forth. You got a couple pitot tubes connecting people United the world. There's Starline's logo, and then you get the L1 boarding door right there with the lever in the window. Here's the United Airlines billboard titles. They look really nice, and they did a very good job on all the details there, so very happy to see that. Got the antenna along with the Wi-Fi box, and then the air inlets once again. And then this livery, obviously different from the previous Saudia. You have the blue engines. The future is SAF. And then you also have the green here on the fuselage. So you got the mid-tone, the light, and the dark green. And then obviously you got the blue portion. So you got the light blue back here. And then you obviously have the darker blue. So let me go ahead and scoot this back. No wing flex once again, very good job on the mold. Here's kind of a look at the side profile. Overall, it looks really sharp. I think the back of the aircraft looks really nice. The registration is November 24988, Dreamliner titles, and you got two more stub antennas back here, along with the Evo blue tail. It looks really weird with the navy, but it's certainly grown on me, so I have to say that I have become a fan of it. It looks really sharp. And then I'll go ahead and give you all a right side profile view. As you can see, very good looking aircraft. It looks really sharp, and very happy with the details and the intricate effort. Top of the aircraft looks very nice. A very good job there by Gemini. They did it really good. And the bottom looks really nice as well. Got all the color palettes, and it certainly came together very well. So yet again, another awesome aircraft. You're gonna notice a bunch of United wide bodies here in this video. They certainly added up fast, and it was really cool to get several of these at the show. So I was very happy about that. And we'll have a bunch of special ones coming up. So with that being said, let's get into our next aircraft, coming from Squatchy's diecast hangar this time. Love Squatchy's and very excited for all of the content to come up with Squatchy, so certainly stay tuned for it. But we got the Delta Airlines McDonnell Douglas MD-88 by NG, so this will be a direct replacement for my Gemini. Very excited to have my first Delta MD-88. I think it should turn out and be a really good looking aircraft, so I'm certainly very excited to see what it looks like. And overall, I certainly think that it will be a very exciting opportunity. So yeah, keep climbing Delta MD-88. There's the CGI itself. Registration's 999 Delta November. Pretty fitting. So yeah, NG obviously hasn't been releasing too many planes that we have wanted, but there are a few, and I hope to see it get better, obviously, but we have to be, you know, just realistic, and I think that's important. But we do have the character card, or not the character card, I love to say that every time, the CRP card, which hopefully CRP improves a little bit. But yeah, this is a really exciting aircraft, and yeah, that is nice. Yeah, I'm so glad I got that. That was a good choice. I wasn't hesitant. I just, I didn't initially order it just because, there's so many choices as collectors and so forth. But after seeing that, that was definitely a really good choice for the flip-flops. So I was planning to get it from the start, and I'm very glad that I did. So let me see. I'm just trying to not make my boxes an absolute disaster down here. They're kind of a disaster, to be completely honest, but it's okay. Okay, let me get this situated here. I also apologize. It's like 90 degrees out, so if I am sweating a little bit or sound like I am, I apologize. I'm doing my best. It's called improvising. So here it is, the Delta MD-88 by NG. This is a phenomenal aircraft. It looks really good. Very good job on the intricate details, and yeah, just overall an impressive effort in quite a few different ways with this aircraft. So yeah, we won't waste any time here as well and go ahead and take a look. But nevertheless, let's not waste any further time and go ahead and get started. So here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone. The NG MD-80 mold's phenomenal. It does not lack any precision. There's no exception on this aircraft. Got the line right here along with the nose landing gear. Here's the L1 door and the SkyTeam logo in the middle of the door. And you have the Delta Most Successful Airline sticker right there, along with the Delta Billboard titles. You have the very intricate antennas, so you got 2 of them right here. And of course, you got the first class. They had a good 12 seats on those or so, maybe a few more. And obviously, you get into Economy Plus. I did fly one Delta MD-88, so glad I did, because they got retired just 3 months after I did. They were a workhorse at the Tulsa International Airport. You can see all the details back here, and of course, Comfort Plus on Delta. And obviously, you have the overwing exits with the 2 emergency doors, so that looks really cool. Taking a good look here at the middle of the aircraft, you have the wing right here along with the flarings and so forth, so all that came together very good. And you got the flap slats, the speed brakes. Obviously, Euro white fuselage, but very good detail throughout. The registration is November 999 Delta November. You have the a door right there as well, and then you got the engines looking very strong, and very good job there on the details of the JT8Ds. And of course, you have the Delta tail that looks really nice. You got the horizontal stabilizers, all of those applicable details that came out looking very sharp, and certainly very happy with the effort. Top of the aircraft looks really nice. A very good job on the details. And the bottom, got the stand hole. Again, the antennas look really good. This is a phenomenal aircraft. Very good job by NG. Very happy to see them making at least some aircraft that are, people want to see, and it's certainly major progress in those regards. So that's certainly very exciting. So let's continue to work on our United and Delta transition. Those 2 airlines have certainly continued the rise in my fleet, and I've been really happy to collect them. And as much as I still do love American Southwest, these 2 have been big, especially United. So also want to give a huge shout out over there to Blue Line Aviation. Such a tough situation, but it was really meaningful to get these United aircraft, thinking of him as well. So that being said, here's the NG United Boeing 787-8. Very excited to have this aircraft, and my United wide-body fleet expands extensively here for Great Plains, which I'm very happy about. So with this Boeing 787-8, thought this would be a good opportunity to expand to a really unique part of the United fleet. I was like, I'll either get the Dash 8 or Dash 10 at some point to go with the Dash 9s. Here's the Dash 8, so very excited to have it. Got the billboard titles right here. Here's the CGI, and here's the globe coming across. United, November 45905, 1/400 scale. So yeah, overall, really cool aircraft. In fact, I actually think I messed up. This is the Phoenix. I got this from West Coast Diecast, and I thought it was the NG for a moment. So this one's really good too. So I'm not picky. I didn't even really think about it. I just saw United 78. I was like, oh, I'm buying it. So yeah, this is actually a good one. I don't know if I have Phoenix Dash 8 for the 787. So the Wi-Fi box obviously is a little bit different, but I think it'll add some good variety, and it goes well with the other United that we're going to see here in a little bit. So yeah, this is a cool aircraft, and the mold's honestly really good. It's just so weird to see it on a Phoenix, So it's certainly, that was a little bit of a surprise, to be honest with you all. I did not think that that's what I ordered, or sorry, bought rather, but that's what I bought. And I'm certainly very excited to have it. So it looks like the nose landing gear might be a little bit stubbed up there, so I might need to, just do a little bit of work on that, but that looks a little bit better. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the Phoenix United Boeing 787-8. So again, an aircraft I forgot about, and that Wi-Fi box is honestly pretty cool. So I think there'll be some big pros here to this aircraft. So yeah, really good looking frame, certainly very excited to have, and I think it'll be quite a tremendous asset here in the collection. So without any further delay, let's not waste any further time and go ahead and get looking at this aircraft. Okay, once again, another wide body. So the heavy hybrid's paying off strong. So I will have a custom airport board that I'll put in here in a moment. So here's the cockpit windows right here, along with the nose cone looking really sharp. You can see the nose landing gear door. You obviously have the silver that we're used to on Phoenix. They're pretty cool, so certainly happy to see that. got Star Alliance logo along with the L1 door, and of course United Polaris, which they're getting another new Polaris, which is very impressive. So we'll be seeing that soon. But here's the billboard titles in the L2 door. Obviously very narrow here on the 77-8, very small. So it is weird proportionally looking at it, but it's grown on me pretty fast. So at the antenna right here along with the Wi-Fi box, which is that grayish color, so certainly a very interesting color for sure. And then you have the cheat line here with the gray and some more intricate details on the panels and so forth. Overall, it looks real nice. Here's the engines. They look really good on this aircraft, and the two-piece mold, phenomenal. No seam really at all, so that's absolutely phenomenal to see. And it looks really good, excuse me. So you also got the cowling back there and the exhaust, so good details on that. Here's the wing itself, looks really sharp, very good job on the details. And yeah, happy with how it came together. It's obviously a little bit different from the NG, but I still think that it's really good in way of the design. So I'm very happy with how that came together, and it looks pretty cool. You also have that little stub piece on top there, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, the main landing gear also turned out really solid. Again, it's just kind of weird because I'm so used to seeing these US newer aircraft with the, you know, normal rims, but I think it looks really cool for difference. So very happy with how that turned out. But anyway, let me move this aircraft over there that was blocking the board. So at the L3 window, or L3 door right there, and the cheat line continues to come across, and then it wraps back up. And then you got the Dreamliner titles, registrations November 45905, US flag, and you got the antennas all throughout, and then you got the United Airlines Evo Blue Tail, which looks really nice. They did a very good job on the details, and overall, I'm very happy with how it all came together. Top of the aircraft looks really nice. It's also much lighter as well, so that's another big observation. Bottom, you got the stand hole, no Phoenix logo. You got one more antenna there in the back that I may not have mentioned clearly. But yeah, overall, very happy to have that aircraft too, and it certainly was a nice surprise. So very happy with how that turned out, and overall, I think that'll be a really cool asset for the collection. Next aircraft comes from my good friend Mateo. This was it was great to see him back at the show, by the way, and along with so many of you. So I'm so glad to see so many of you at the show. But this is the Dragon Wings Boeing 777-300 Chrome. This was the first one to roll off, and it's missing landing gear, so I got a very good deal on it. So I appreciate him selling this over, and I think it'll be a cool aircraft just for fun. So, and yeah, it does have some major deficiencies. So, but you know, it was a very cheap price, and it honestly looks really good on this side. I just need to find a stand to work with, and then it will be great for displaying on like a desk or wherever. I'm not very picky when it comes to these models. You all probably have been able to figure that out at this point. So yeah, the Chrome Boeing 777-300 is a very, very polished, good looking aircraft by Dragon Wings. So let me see if I can turn this here. And yeah, overall, a very good looking aircraft. It looks really cool, and definitely excited to add it here into the fleet. So without any further delay, let's not waste any further time and go ahead and get started, everybody. So here it is right there. You can see the nose cone there along with the cockpit windows. And yeah, fortunately this side, there's no major paint scuffing, which is awesome. You can see the cheat line right there looking strong for the red, white, and navy. So great to have that 4th of July kind of vibe to it, which is cool. Anyway, you have the launch carriers on there too, so the different airlines at the bottom, and the Navy 777-300 titles also looking quite strong as well. So as you continue, obviously you would have first class here, and then some business, and then on to the premium economy before economy plus the normal economy on most aircraft. Now this is a 777-300, so you're going to notice a couple differences. Before I point those out, first I want to say that the wing route's very nice and seamless. Dragon Wings did a very good job for the time frame, so I'm certainly impressed. But you can see here that the wing's really fixed up right, and especially on this winglet, you can see on the other side, but also this side as well. That's what they look like. You don't see many of these at this point, just those domestic United triples that I've flown several of, which that model is going to be coming up here in a moment. Yeah, just overall good detail, and I think they did a good job, you know, representing the full scope on that. Here's the back of the aircraft. You can see similar details throughout, and overall it looks nice. Got the L3, L4, L5 door, and then the registration's November 9014 Kilo, which I think Phoenix and Panda and so many other companies have done way higher quality versions of this, but again, this one's just for fun. You got the 777-300 there on the tail, and the cheat line that comes up and cuts across. Got the APU, horizontal stabilizers, and all those additional intricate details that you'd hope to see from Dragon Wings in this time frame. So you can see the right side there a little scratched up, but again, I'm going to display this on a stand on the other side, which I actually know what stand I'm going to use when I get home, so that's going to be cool. Top of the aircraft looks good with the emergency exits, and then you do have actually a normal stand hole, so I actually can use any stand with it really. So yeah, this is certainly an interesting aircraft. It'll be great for display. Very excited to get to use it, and overall I think it was a very good deal for what that'll be worth. I love Boeing. I think they're a really good company despite the MAX struggles and other complications that they've had in recent history. So yeah, very excited for what's to come on that, and overall it's looking very strong. Next aircraft we're going to take a look at here is a very good one, and at some point we're also going to take a look at some of the other items that I got here throughout the video as well. So the next one that we're going to take a look at here is the Aviation 400. So happy with this deal. I got an awesome price. Delta Airlines Airbus A350-900 LA28 Special 522 Delta Zulu. Got this for $50. Thank you so much, MV400, for a steal. I really appreciate this, and I'm really excited to add this into the fleet. This was my favorite, and I intended to get it. I just never got a chance to. So Airbus A350, here's the CGI Delta, and here's the aircraft itself. Now this will only be my second Delta A350 my third now, as I have the 100 years that we're going to take a look at the NG version here later in the video, and then about to order the Panda, so that'll be a fun comparison later on here in the year. But it's the year of Delta, and why not get another A350 when we get a chance? So this one's a really beautiful one. Here it is. Just absolutely stunning aircraft. You can just see the details on it. It's so good, and again, feeling very fortunate to have this aircraft. So I gotta be very gentle out here in the elements to not lose my landing gear. So let me just be very careful, but obviously they do come with magnetic landing gear. And in addition to this aircraft being the one that I really wanted anyway, I don't have a A350 yet I take that back. I don't have an A350 with detachable gear from Aviation 400. All I got's the Qatar, and that one does not have retractable gear. So very excited to have this. Let me just go ahead and take the plastic off. What a stunning looking aircraft, and it's going to be so cool to display this in so many different capacities. Aviation 400's just setting the world on fire when it comes to these really cool aircraft, and I apologize, it's really hot, so I'm doing my best to concentrate, but it's certainly tough, especially after several 10-hour shifts in a row. I'm going home tomorrow, so I'm excited about that, but I got still quite a bit of preparation and so forth, but filming has to get done. It's very important. So, okay, yeah, this aircraft is stunning. That is beautiful. Delta LA28 A350 by AV400. That is a very good looking airplane right there. So yeah, feeling very fortunate to have this. I think that this is quite a tremendous asset. What a great looking plane, and certainly very excited to have it featured here in the collection. So without any further delay, we won't waste any further time and go ahead and take a look at this stunning aircraft, and definitely a very good decision on my part. I'm very happy with how this all came to be and turned out and all of it. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look. So here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone. Got the panel right here along with the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door, and the fleet code right there as well. Here is the SkyTeam logo in the L1 door, the Delta titles, which are a little bit bigger, but you know, obviously Aviation 400 is going to have a little bit of a different take on it. So I still think it looks very nice, and they did a good job. You got the panel sticker right here with some additional details. You got first class up here, Delta 1 in other words, and obviously you have your premium economy into your Comfort Plus and then economy. Really good job here on the beacon. You got the intricate Wi-Fi box there, whichever one it is, and then two more antennas, very nice and put together. So overall looking very strong. Got a little bit of a cloud there, and we're on a little bit of time crunch, so I'm just gonna have to keep proceeding. But yeah, you start with the orange, and then you get into the red right here, and then you get a transition to the purple. I think it's a really cool color palette right there, and very strong. You have the engines right there as well that look really good, so that's certainly cool to see. And you got the engines there too. Overall, good detail. They look very nice, and Aviation 400 continues to do a phenomenal job on all the effort they provide. Yeah, here's a really good look here at the wing. And then you can see the Delta wingtips as well. They seem a little bit like janky on the printing. Not a huge deal, just a little bit of an observation there, but still really good. And then you have the big LA28 titles with the A being the Delta widget, obviously for the upcoming Olympics. So that's going to be very cool to see in Los Angeles. And you got the antennas right there in the Wi-Fi box and the back door, and obviously kind of this almost space theme. And then you have November 522 Delta Zulu, and then you have the Delta tail, which is the full color there. It seems a little dark on the navy, that's for sure, but it also could be because the light went behind the clouds. So anyway, though, very happy with this aircraft. It turned out really good. Let me give you all a top and bottom view. Top of the aircraft looks very nice. Very good job on the details. And the bottom, you got the LA28 down there looking nice. You got the beacon as well. I know it's probably pretty tough to see, but I'll see if I can. Yeah, there you go. You can see better. Air inlets, all the good details, stand hole, and then yeah, the Delta does look a little bit better with a little bit of light reflection. So yeah, overall looking very strong, looking really good, and I'm doing my best to keep the pace, but this is just admittingly a tough ask on this video with how much is going on. I'm trying not to break my suitcase, which it might be cooked after this anyway, but we're going to continue to do our best. So next on the list, we're going to do this. I think this was maybe the last one I got on day one, and I'll show you all some memorabilia after this probably. The United Airlines Boeing 777-200. Super excited to have this. This is a Phoenix, and I knew that getting into it. So very excited to finally have this. I've been trying to get one for quite some time. I've flown several of these, and it was my first ever wide body. So there was so many reasons why I was trying to get this aircraft, and I can't be any more glad to have it as we speak today. So very happy to have this aircraft, and this is going to be quite an asset for quite some time to come. So 777-200ER, CGI, United registration number 78004 in the 1 to 400 scale. Here's the boxes, and again, these last couple, this one came from West Coast Diecast as well, along with one more that we're going to take a look at here in a minute. So yeah, very excited to have this aircraft. This is going to be huge for the collection, and yeah, considering the implications and how important this aircraft is to me, I'm certainly very glad to have it today. And this is a very good looking aircraft. Yeah, Wi-Fi box turned out really good. This is definitely going to be one that I'm looking at pretty often, considering, you know, how special this aircraft is to me. So yeah, first ever wide body, and very glad to now have flown several of them and more coming soon. So yes, what a special aircraft for so many different reasons, and that is definitely a really good representation there of the aircraft. So yeah, a bunch of wide bodies during this show. I got a bunch of wide bodies this time. It just worked out that way, and there were so many good wide body deals, and it was a bunch of what I wanted. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. But there it is, the United Airlines Boeing 777-200ER, and this once again is the current livery Evo Blue. So very excited to have this aircraft. I think it's a really good addition to the collection, and I'm certainly really excited to get to feature it here today. So without any further delay, we won't waste any further time and go ahead and get looking at it. So there's the cockpit windows right there, along with the nose cone, and you got the Star Alliance logo right there, connecting people, united the world once again. L1 door, and you got the nose landing gear door. Phoenix's 777 is really good. This is exactly a direct reflection of that, so I'm certainly very happy with it. And you got the cheat line right here, along with the various panels. So all that came together very well, and it's looking really sharp, so very happy about that. You got the United Airlines billboard titles looking very strong here as well. Very nice and bold, and the color is really good on it too. Phoenix has been hit or miss on colors in the past, especially for aircraft that are not in Asia, but this they did a very good job on, so happy to see that. But yeah, panel detail, L2 door, and then obviously you got the old dorm room quote, first class on some of the domestic ones, the international ones have Polaris. And then you obviously get into premium economy and economy plus and so forth. Here's the two antennas. This one right here is really cool. I don't know if you can see it very good. There you go. So looks a little bit very sharp right there. You also have the Wi-Fi box and antenna up there too, and then you have the beautiful engines. I'm not sure on exactly which one it is on this aircraft. But yeah, looking very nice, and you got the main landing gear there as well, and you got the fixed up wings, which I'm very happy that they are featured there. Apparently this is an ER, but I think it's just a 777-200. I think the box was just wrong. It looks like a 200 to me, and I sure look at it that way after flying so many of them. So you can see the main landing gear there with the silver struts on the rims as well, and overall that came out looking very sharp. At the back of the aircraft as well, in which you have the back Wi-Fi box, and then you got the various antennas right there looking really strong, and then you got the tail, which is a very good design, horizontal stabilized APU, and similar to the 787 that we looked at previously, which looking at it from a glance, it is really good. But the triple here, you can see just very simple, not quite as crisp on the wing markings themselves. So not a huge deal, but just an observation. Top of the aircraft looks really good. The same story on that, but if you look for it, you can find it. Bottom, you do have the air inlets here, which are really nice. That stub antenna, which I think is really cool. Two more antennas there in the back, and then the main landing gear, which do pivot, obviously, with the silver. So that is an advantage over the NG mold. So yeah, very excited to have that aircraft. That's another very nice one, and I certainly think that will serve very well here in the collection as we continue to move forward. So no doubt very happy with how that aircraft came to be. So looking very strong. Okay, let's continue. We have quite a bit going on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to continue to truck through the models. So let me see what I can find next that I'd like to share. So I'm going to get into some day 2 pickups next, and we'll just continue to roll through. So final approach collectibles had a bunch of the NG stock, which was really cool. So the first aircraft we're going to start with is this Aeromexico 737-800 in the new livery. I did decide to just go ahead and get this. I'll flop the older livery that I have. This is a very good aircraft, and you know, it was just really caught my eye when I got it, and it's future proof, and Great Plains going to like it. So Aeromexico Boeing 737-800, here's the CGI, and you got the color palette. The pink on it I think is a really good ad. It's 957 Alpha Mike. So yeah, good to see NG doing some aircraft here that obviously are not Asia, that are very popular. Obviously, I'm all for them doing some Asia aircraft they want to, but you gotta keep the balance up right. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get it open and the card's already in there, so I'm not gonna have to mess around with that. And then let's just go ahead and pop it. And yeah, overall looking very good. And yeah, that's a very sharp looking airplane. So very excited to get the feature here, and overall it's looking very nice. So the Aeromexico 737-800, I'm making an absolute mess here, but it's okay. So yeah, finally another narrow body. It took forever, but I promise I did buy narrow bodies here, and you'll see several more of them here in a row here in a moment. But yeah, here it is, the Aeromexico 737-800. Very excited to have this aircraft. This is another very sharp looking plane, and it certainly will be very good in the way of, you know, my collection and what I hope to use it for. So the lighting is back just in time to take a look at the Aeromexico 737-800 by NG. And that, we are not doing macro mode right now. Absolutely not. Under no circumstance. There's no good reason for that to win in macro mode, but we got it fixed. Cockpit windows here along with the nose cone. You got the pitot tubes right here as well. Really great details. And you got the SkyTeam logo right here. Here's the nose landing gear door, and it's 957. Here's the L1 door, and then you got the SkyTeam logo and some other stickers. The Aeromexico titles, I like the thin font. I think it's a really big upgrade and definitely is indicative of where we're at this point in, you know, 2025 branding. So very good job by the Aeromexico team for making that a reality. You got the two antennas right here, and we know what to expect with the NG mold. It's never a disappointment. So you got the passenger emergency exits right there, and then the engine, where you do have a hint of purple, which I think is really cool. So I think the scheme there, so it's pretty much just what they've had, just cleaned up a little bit. They might even be able to keep the coat from the previous aircraft. Just kidding, it's not how it works. But anyway, wing details very good. You can see the flat and speed brake detail in the wing, flat fairings. It's really cool. I finally learned that name, so thank you, Anderson. You got the pink scimitar on the bottom and the top with the navy and purple, and then you can see on the outside. I think that's a really big add to it. I think it really adds some depth, and overall I'm very happy with them making that decision to pursue it in that avenue. So yeah, looking very nice with navy there. November 957 Alpha Mike, and you got the actual tail piece back here with the new Aeromexico logo. Cleans it up a little bit. It's a little bit sharper, and I think the detail on it's very good. So overall, very strong, and I hope that I can find a way not to break the suitcase between now and the end of this video, but it's just trying to, the base is just struggling to continue to do what I'm asking it to, which is a little much, but you know, I didn't really have a chair to bring, and I didn't really want to go buy one just for one video. Top of the aircraft looks very nice. In the bottom, you do have the Aeromexico titles on the bottom. I did not know that, so that's really strong. And yeah, that looks really nice. So overall, very good detail. So we're chugging along, everybody. We're making good progress, and the good news is a couple of these are already going to be out of the box soon. So I'd say we're good halfway done. So just getting a little stretch right here, making good progress, and overall, very happy with how all this is coming together. So that said, let's continue. Man, absolute work. Oh man, all right, let's continue. So next aircraft that we have, I need to get it out of this bag here because there's a bunch of timetables and other models. Actually, we're going to go ahead and do this one here to give it a little bit of a change up. And the tail fell off, so I apologize. It's in the bag right there, but for the sake of time, I'll just go ahead and show you all what we got right here. So this is Air 2000 Boeing 777-200. This was free, so of course I was going to get it. Not only because of that, but you all may have saw my review a few months ago. I recently was able to finally get an Air 2007 back because I actually had one as a child. So very excited to have this snap together aircraft. I think it's really cool. Got cockpit windows and obviously all the various colors on it. You got the red, the yellow, the green, the navy, and it goes all the way down the pipe. And you got first choice there, and the registration would be a UK one, but really cool in this aircraft. It actually has the color palette on the wing, so that's really cool. And then the engines, I don't think were on it to begin with, although it could have been. So I'm gonna try to see if I can answer that question here, because I'm not seeing them in the bag. So I don't think that they were, but I know the tail was. So I thought it'd just be nice, just like several of the other aircraft I'm just throwing up on my shelf. This one it's certainly costing me a bunch of money, so that's a good joke. But yeah, very happy to have that one too, and it will continue to be an asset for a while to come. So yeah, looking very strong with that aircraft. And then the next one is a very exciting one as well. As to everybody, is the American Airlines McDonnell Super 80 MD-82. NG doing a bunch of American MD-80s. This one, November 923 Tango Whiskey, is the rounded off nose piece in the back, rounded off tail piece, and the, what's it called? You also have the nose cone as well. Or it's the MD-82. So yeah, very similar to the 589, just a different registration, so forth, different take on it. So MD-82 McDonnell doubles. I like the AA back tail. The other one from this set is at my house. It came with another order, so I'll be sure to put these boxes together when I get a chance. But yeah, looking very good, Super 80. Here's the bottom and the sides here as well, in the back of the box. So overall, looking very strong. And with that being said, we won't waste any additional time on this aircraft either. We'll just go ahead and take a look at it. So yeah, very excited to have this aircraft too, and it is a really sharp looking plane. Also, the plastics changed on NG. They're just doing small pieces in the bottom now, which is perfectly fine. I don't see a problem with that. So let's just go ahead and throw that box off to the side as well. Not literally, but just kind of, you know. Okay, American MD-82. So very excited to have another one of these. Obviously, NG's done some amazing American MD-80s. They need to balance out the releases, in my opinion. But you know what? We're working. We're doing the best that we can, and that's exactly what we got right now. So that said, let's not waste any further time and go ahead and get started. So cockpit windows, very similar to the NG Delta 88. This mold is phenomenal. How can you go wrong? You got navy, white, and blue, and you got the nose landing gear door, and it's 923. Here's the wing piece right here, or sorry, nose piece, and you got the L1 door right here as well, and you got the ladder. Obviously, you have a little bit of first class here. It goes straight into economy plus then economy, or main cabin extra towards the end. Here's the two antennas. Good details, very nice in the way of the intricacies. And yeah, they did a very good job on it. So happy with how all that turned out. And obviously have the full fuselage here. A couple of panel details, and then as we scooter down, we're going to take a look here at the overwing exits. So certainly happy with how those turned out. And yeah, they look really good. You can get right on out there. So you have the great wing detail as well, so that's very nice. And overall, they did a very good job with how all that came together. You have the back exit there as well. Overall, good detail too. And then I think we just have a little bit of a, hopefully not a scuff on the aircraft, but just a little piece of debris. Yeah, it just needed to be not pried off, but removed. So yeah, engines look really good. Those JT8Ds are very strong, so very happy to see those back antenna. And then you got the registration of this aircraft, which is November 923 Alpha Tango. And then the big part of this aircraft is that rounded off back piece. We'll see a screwdriver piece here in a moment. You'll see what that looks like. Horizontal stabilizers, American Airlines tail, all of that came together very well, and certainly very happy with how all that came to be. Top of the aircraft looks really nice, and the bottom of the aircraft also looks really good. You got stand hole, all the pieces of the puzzle, and that is definitely a very good looking aircraft. So another big success right there, no doubt about it. And now we're going to take a look at our next aircraft. So very excited to have the NG versions of these. The Gemini ones I'll be reviewing soon, and then I'll do a full comparison on these along with the Panda ones very soon. But I was able to get my hands on the NG models 1:400 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A321 and A350 100 years livery. So very cool. Let me just go ahead and see if I can get this 350 out of the box so we can show you all what it looks like with them together. So the designs obviously don't quite go together, which is, you know, a part of it, but hey, it's a part of the game. So yeah, they look really nice though, and I think the liveries go really well together. So with that being said, we'll do the 321 Neo first. So yeah, here's the box. Overall, very good detail throughout here by NG. And you got the back, and it's 13130. We go ahead and get her out, and there it is. And you got the card in there as well, and not much branding on these for obvious reasons. I wonder why. So NG obviously did not care, and that is kind of the thought. So yeah, very happy to have this aircraft as well. And the back plastic certainly interesting, so I'll be eager to see what their policy on all that will be as we move forward, if that will be the normal or if they'll change it again, or what exactly will happen. And apologize once again, I'm doing my best not to, oh man, it's tough. I need to go get a water break, but I am trying to make a good run at this here. I got still got an hour of light. It's taking time. This is a huge video. I probably should have started a little bit earlier, but I digress. So Delta A321 Neo, this is a very good looking aircraft. Certainly very excited to have in the fleet, and I think it's going to be a real asset here for the collection. So with that being said, very good looking airplane. Let's not waste any further time and go ahead and get started. Once again, I apologize. I'm doing my best, but it's just it is so hot. Okay. Excuse me, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. So here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone. Love the raccoon mask. It looks very nice right there. Very good job on the proportion of the antenna right here. L1 door and then the nose landing gear. You got the Delta 100 years titles right here. All that came together very nicely. Got the first class up here as well, looking very sharp, and very happy with how all that came together. And it definitely is, you know, Gemini 1's very good, don't get me wrong, but this is chef's kiss. This is stunning. Love the gray on here too. They did a very good job on that. And then as we scoot the camera down, you're going to see the Middle of the aircraft here where we have the Navy coming across along with that gray line, and then you have the engine right here. I got the overwing exits, and then you have the flap slat and speed brake detail. Very good. This is a really good shot of it right here. You can certainly see how impressive the detail is, and overall it looks very nice. So very happy with it. You can expect a really fun review on this coming up here in the near future. But yeah, middle of the aircraft looking very nice, main landing gear too. All the details you'd want to see. And then back here, you can obviously see the door back here looking strong, and then you got the antennas and so forth. All that came together nicely. Registration November 589 Delta Tango, so very nice to see that. And then you got the gray, the blue, and the navy, and then obviously the silver. It all comes together super well in this livery. There's no doubt that this is just a stunning aircraft in so many ways, and very happy to see detail in it. Top of the aircraft looking very nice. You got the overwing exits and all the detail. Bottom, you got the Delta underbelly, and it all came together very nicely. So yeah, very good looking aircraft. Overall, very strong, and very happy with how all that came together right there. So that's absolutely awesome. Same song, second verse, this time on the Airbus A350-900 for Delta. Really cool that they painted not just the 321neo, but the 350. We got to see this at Atlanta, and it was so much fun. Came right by. Fortunately, we were able to see it. Unfortunately, the runway closed, so that was the reason, but it looked out for the plane spotters. It's like they did it on purpose. So I am, very happy that it worked out, but hopefully it wasn't too big of an inconvenience for passengers, despite the airport falling apart Friday nights when it got crazy. But there it is, everybody. That is another just stunning aircraft, and it looks so good in so many ways. So yeah, let me just go ahead and plop this back in. Fortunately, we're making very good progress. We're almost got the die cast completely done, which is big. That was the goal. So yeah, the Delta Airlines A350-900 by NG. Very good looking aircraft, very happy to have it. And yeah, I certainly think that it is quite the asset here. So with that being said, we won't waste any further time and go ahead and get a nice close-up view of it here, which again, it looks phenomenal. Very good job on the detail, and that is a great looking plane. So very happy to get to have it there. And we will just go ahead and zoom in and get started with our assessment of the aircraft. So here is the cockpit windows there along with the nose cone. You got the panel details right there as well. SkyTeam logo, nose landing gear door. Very good job on the precision, and NG's mold just never fails. You got the Delta billboard tiles right here. 100 years, you got the panel, and you got the L2 door and another antenna right there. So all that came together very nicely, and it's looking really good. So across the middle here, once again, same portion for delivery. You got the silver and then two blues. Overall came together very nicely. You got the Navy engines right here as well. Got the overwing exits that came together very strong. Flap slats and speed brakes and the fairings for it. So that's absolutely awesome. And you got the L3 door right there. Got the antenna right here as well. And you got the antenna with the Wi-Fi box, and you have the rest of the passenger windows, and then the registration is November 527 Delta November. You have the back here with the beautiful tail, as you can see, along with the L4 door. So you got the silver, the blue, and the navy. So all that came together very well, and certainly very happy with the details and how that all came throughout. That was certainly absolutely awesome. Top of the aircraft looks very good job on the details, and the bottom also very good. Get the Delta underbelly with the silver. It all came together very well. Looking very good. We're making very good progress. Water break, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, everybody, let's continue after a very nice break right there. So we have a bunch going on here in this bag. I got a really good deal on these. They were only a handful of dollars for each of these, so meaning like 10 or 20. But anyway, let me show you what we all got in here. There's quite a few, so hopefully I didn't injure too much here in the bag. But anyway, the first aircraft is this Delta Colors in Motion CRJ200. It does have wings, so let me see if I can retrieve those. Very good to get this aircraft, very happy about it, and I think it's a very good pickup there. So let me go ahead and put it together for you all. So yeah, overall, I think this was a very good deal, and yeah, 10 bucks for this. So it's got a little bit of wing scuff right there on the front, but overall, very good aircraft. Cockpit windows, got the ASA logo, Delta connection there, and all the rest of it. So very good looking aircraft. Overall, looking very sharp, and I think that was a very good addition to the collection. Again, I gotta get stands for all these, but I'm sure I can master that. I do have horizontal stabilizers for this America West CRJ-200. These appear to be flight miniatures, by the way. So yeah, very happy to have this aircraft too, and I think that it's a very good looking aircraft. Got the usairways.com, and again, that was $10 as well. So very happy to put that together, and I think that's another solid effort right there. The next aircraft I have is a really rare one. It's missing landing gear, but I think I can still recover it up pretty good. But it's the American Eagle ATR 72, which is really cool. I think I definitely need to work towards getting a, what's it called? I'm gonna have to work towards a stand for this one as well, and a 1-400 particularly. That's what I was thinking of. But yeah, very happy with how that came together, and overall I think that's looking very strong, so very happy with that. And then the big one that I got for 20 bucks, which I'm very happy about, this was 20 as well, is the Champion Air Boeing 727-200. Very happy to have this aircraft. I think that was a really good pickup for 20 bucks. Champion Air obviously flew to Tulsa for a long time, so very happy to get the featured their presence here, and I think they'll look really nice. So overall, very happy with that. And yeah, that was a really good skew of models right there to pick up. It was just from one vendor that was selling them off. So yeah, really happy about that. And we will go ahead and dock them up and park them up over here. So let me just go ahead and do just that. So just putting them back here for now, and I'll obviously work on their organization a little bit more here in a little bit, but very happy with how all that came together. So yeah, we have, I believe, I'm gonna have to verify, but 3 more die cast, and then we will jump into our 4 1-200 that we have. So yeah, I hope all of you are excited. So the first one is a really cool Patriot model. This is the Boeing 767-400. This is a brand new manufacturer that we talked about previously, but they have a very precise mold and some really cool pieces to the puzzle. So first off, very unique box. You can see the house livery right here, and then some really cool pieces on the inside of the fuselage along with the conceptual part. Boeing 767-400ER prototype leading the way, 1-400 scale. So yeah, Patriot's main focus is high quality models and a unique buying experience. So obviously you have this very fancy box, which does also have a card in it that features a specification card, limited edition of 380, along with this really cool postcard. So I think that's really unique, and I appreciate them very much for doing that. And then you also have the stand in here as well, which it does come with, so that's very nice. And as you take this off, you get out the absolutely extravagant aircraft itself. This is a really nice one, and yeah, you even get a foam piece with it. I'm very happy to have it, and I think it's going to be a really good addition here in the collection. So let me not waste any further time and go ahead and get started with the 767-400 from Patriots. So yeah, very good looking aircraft, looks really good, leading the way. Very fancy aircraft, and yeah, it did cost some more money by default. I got this for $65, which I don't even know what it retails at. I'm sure it's around there, if not higher. But yeah, the mold is extremely detailed, and it's about an experience, and I certainly value that for some couple extra bucks. So very happy to have this aircraft, and I think it'll look really good in the collection. So this one, admittingly, was probably a little bit more of an impulse buy. So with that said, if I can get on macro mode, we will take a look at the beautiful aircraft with our distracting real-life aircraft above. So cockpit windows looking very strong right there, and you got the nice logo right there for Boeing. Then you got the L1 door and the nose landing gear there as well. Boeing 767-400, and you got the first class area up here, so that looks very nice. And then you got the very beautiful stripes. So obviously you got the red and the blue along with the chrome underbelly. Then obviously we start this really cool gray design here on this like palette design, so that's really cool. Antenna up here, and you got the leading edge of the wing, which is very detailed, and it looks really nice. And you got the wing root itself and the leading edge lights and the engines. It's just all about precision on this mold. It's very good. It's phenomenally detailed. Patriot also has 747s, and I think they're working towards other molds as we speak. So yeah, overall, very nice effort, and it certainly looks really nice. And you got leading the way. You got the details right there, and you got the wing back here, along with the L3 door back here as well, which I can't even see it, but it's right there, I believe. And then you obviously have this really cool design here with some various pallets and so forth, kind of unlike what we've seen Boeing do with prototypes. So that looks really cool in the back. And yeah, that looks really nice all the way throughout. And then the registration of this aircraft's number 76400, fittingly enough. And then you have the Boeing 767 tail right there. Horizontal stables, APQ, very big emphasis on detail and making it look nice and so forth. So that's really cool. Right side of the aircraft also looks really good. Very sharp, very intricate. Top looks really good. Love the gray there, and all that came together very nicely. Bottom also looks really good. You get stand hole and the main landing gear as well, and all the pieces. So very good looking aircraft that came together very well, and overall looking very strong. So we are slowly but surely running out of room here, but that's all right. Our next aircraft is going to be a very special one. I mentioned this in my seminar. This is the Herpa 1-400 Delta Boeing 767-400 breast cancer awareness. And I saw that other manufacturers made this, but I was particularly waiting for an opportunity to get this aircraft back because I actually had this aircraft when I was younger, one of many, and I talked about it during the seminar, but I've been looking for an opportunity to get it back since it was broken, and this is exactly that opportunity. So very excited to have this aircraft. I think it looks really nice. Here's the box here, Boeing 767-400, 1-400 scale. So yeah, this dates back all the way to 2014, so very long time ago. And it broke fairly early on. But it was a really cool aircraft, and it was active at the time when I got it. And obviously Herpa made some really cool aircraft. So yeah, very glad to have this, and it's certainly a really cool one. We obviously now got the newer one, which I will certainly consider getting, the BCRF, kind of in the same place here. And yeah, there it is. Man, I was not expecting to see that back. And the gear even pivot, which I completely forgot about, which was a really cool feature at the time for a company like Herpa. Man, it is hot. I apologize to everybody. I'm doing my best, but limited sleep and long shifts, so I'll be better for the upcoming videos. So still a little bit of a tough go at it today. All right. I don't have as many favorite factors normally working in my favor. Normally I can recover from one deficiency, but multiple deficiencies has been tough. Delta 767-400, and you get the breast cancer awareness. Very good looking aircraft. Certainly extremely glad to have it. Very good job on the details, and you got the various logos right there as well and so forth. So that said, we won't waste any further time and take a look at yet again another wide body. Common theme for this airline is international was buying wide bodies, and that's exactly what happened, whether it was intentional or not. And I apologize about that camera. That was the camera mishap was certainly not intentional, I can assure. So let's go ahead and take a look, everybody. So cockpit windows up here as well. Nose cone, got the SkyTeam logo, and I think it's Susan on here. I'm forgetting what exactly they had the titles on, but L1 door. Delta billboard titles, and it's Force for Global Good, which is awesome. And you have the rest of that, and you got the L2 door. That's probably 222. I gotta look at that real quick. I'm sorry, everybody. Oh, it's the Lufthansa 350. I knew that sounded weird. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Focus, focus, focus. There we go. Oh yeah, that's worth the intermission right there. That's pretty sweet. I knew that sounded. I knew that. I didn't mean I didn't mean to say triple. I was like, I knew that was distinctive. That was too good of an opportunity. That was sweet. That you could hear that from a mile away. That is one cool part about airports like Charlotte, when they have one flight that's really distinctive. It's like you know when you hear it. I knew that I needed to jump. It wasn't. There was a couple triples that passed by during the break, and that's really cool. There's like 2 triples in that 350 leave at once, but that was too good of an opportunity. I'm glad we got that. Okay, so overwing here, and you got the engine right here as well. You got the pylon as well, and then you got the slats as well. So that looks really sharp. The wings there too, looking very strong, and then the over part of it that looks really nice. So L3 door also looking really strong too. The rest of the fuselage, it's November 845 Mike Hotel, which actually is still the aircraft now. It just got the BCRF, which is really cool. And then you got the back here as well, where you got the full pink tail, which I think is really cool that Delta had it like this. Newer one obviously is a little bit more streamlined, but I think this still really served a critical purpose and definitely came together very well. Top of the aircraft looks very strong. Good job on the wing detail, very phenomenal for that time frame. Again, gear pivot, and there's the bottom, Herpa. All the detail, you do have the plastic gear, but not a huge deal to me. So yeah, not getting 2 764s wasn't on my bingo card for the show, but that's how it happened. This is our last diecast 1-400, so we've done really good, and we will actually make our way through this pretty smoothly. I think we're gonna get it with all the light before the light disappears, which was the goal. So yeah, this is the Allegiant Airbus A320. Obviously building up Destin and looking for all the regs I can get. So I was hoping they would do a fence tip. I hope somebody does a fence tip, but we got the Sharklet for now, so we won't complain. So Allegiant, typical box design. It hasn't been too long. They did a fence tip 319 3 years ago. So Gemini Jets. So yeah, great to see Gemini continuing to expand to aircraft that we really want to see. Now, actually, technically, this is a re-release. I did have the first version that Gemini did, but obviously now that I have Destin, it makes sense to get this one back. This time with the newer release, and this box even talks about 737 MAX. So yeah, this is a re-release from 2017. So yeah, 8 years ago they did one like this when the new livery was brand new. And 8 years later, Gemini decided that it was time to come back to this aircraft, and I think it was a good choice. So yeah, and just not many narrow bodies at all in this. I've only counted, this is number 5. So yeah, I was definitely went a little past what I normally do in regards to how and what I collect. It definitely was a way different reality than what I intended, but it's just kind of how it came together. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm doing my best, but it's hot, it's tough. I need to sleep bad, but all the more I can do right now is film. So Allegiant Air A320. Yeah, Gemini did a good job on this aircraft. It looks really good. Obviously, CFMs are a little big and the nose cone is what it is, but we can't sit here and soap about that for too long. It's to be expected at this point. So otherwise, very good. The colors all very good. So you got the cockpit windows there along with the nose cone. It is very obvious on this aircraft, though I will say it is, for whatever reason, even more obvious, the deficiencies there. Panel detail, L1 door, nose landing gear. That's not to discourage the model, by the way. The model's honestly really good. I like it. The color is phenomenal. Color is really, really good. And then, yeah, the engines aren't too bad. I would even say the nose probably irritates me more than the engines, to be honest. But yeah, there's that. And then it's all good from here, fortunately, because you have the rest of the wing detail, the flap slats and seat brakes. So you can see some good detail in the back there. And then the Allegiant livery itself, the orange, yellow, and blue. So yeah, really good detail. It looks real nice. And then you got the back here. The registration of this one's 252 November Victor, which really rings a bell, and I don't know why I can't put my finger on it. But you got the Allegiant Sun as well. And the really good details from the main landing gear and all the pieces throughout. So all that came together very nicely, and they did a really good job on that. Top of the aircraft again, good wing detail. Very similar to the previous release, maybe a slightly better color. So yeah, good to get this re-release. And again, this you'll definitely be seeing this destined to kind of bulk up the normal livery portion. I put in the Las Vegas Raiders aircraft quite a bit, so just wanted some additional variety, and that's exactly what's going to come throughout. So we have two more plastic aircraft to take a look at first before we get to our die-cast 1-200s. The first one is a $10 Boeing Business Jet 737. Anytime you see an opportunity like this, I think that it's worth taking it. I mean, $10 is $10. I initially offered $5, but I was at the end of the show just, I don't want to say lowballing, but I was just, you know, giving out offers. And he was like, hey, this one actually hasn't even been unboxed before. Like, hey, $10. And I was like, I'll do $10. And rightfully so, it is brand new unboxed and it's got the stand. So this will be a nice aircraft for sure. And yeah. So let me just go ahead and get this out real quick. I'll make it as fast as I can to kind of put this together. Fortunately, though, it doesn't look like it's going to be too challenging in the objectives. So you just got the wings and the fuselage. So obviously, it snaps together just like so. I hope all of you are enjoying this very much. This has been really fun to put together. And yeah, these Boeing Business Jets are a really cool aircraft. This one obviously is a real look at, you know, what they originally looked like. Though I will say that this is Flight Miniatures, I believe. Though I will say that those winglets are interesting at best. They're certainly interesting to see. And we got some sort of manual there as well. But yeah, putting the stand on here real quick, and then put it on backwards. That's a tough fit there. And then I don't want to bend the snapback pin too much, but obviously gonna have to a little bit because that's why it popped out to begin with. It's supposed to go in there in the way of holding in the horizontal stabilizer, which I think is cool. I didn't know that was the case, or I wouldn't have done it that way. But yeah, we did work on it, and that's probably why there's instructions. The Boeing Business Jet 737, winglets are atrocious, otherwise it's pretty good. Atrocious might be a little much, but they are not accurate, that's for sure. Which is not a complaint, just an observation. $10, you get what you pay for, and I think it'll look nice on my desk. So, got the cockpit windows up there. You got the red and blue, which is pretty standard for that time. All the way onto the back. Boeing Business Jet, and then obviously you have a really cool VIP seat configuration in these. I got the C1 at NBAA in Vegas last year, so that was certainly a cool experience. Got these engines, which are really nice as well, and overall I think that's all looking really sharp. And you got the wing detail here, flap slide and speed brakes, which are marked up pretty good. Red and blue lead all the way up, and you got BBJ right there, looking really sharp. And yeah, all that came together very nicely. And then right side of the aircraft looking really good. You got the actual cargo doors as well, and yeah, all the details. Top and bottom are pretty simple. We don't need to go into too much crazy detail on that. Next aircraft, I want to give a big shout out to my good friend Dave Powell for getting me this. I really appreciate that. You all probably saw him at the show quite a bit, and you know, he's certainly been an awesome friend of mine, which I greatly appreciate his support. But we have the American MD-80. He just picked, you know, he knows that I love these aircraft, and this one was just on the trade floor, and I really appreciate his effort. It was very nice of him to do this, and I'm very excited to have this one if I can even get it to focus in any comprehension. So yeah, here it is. Obviously not the fanciest mold by any means, but that's not really the point. The point's that it's a very nice thought, and yeah, it's a really cool. I don't know what this brand is. I don't have one either, but I am on a pursuit to get like every piece of American MD-80 memorabilia I certainly can. So this works into that goal beautifully, and I'm certainly very excited to have this aircraft, and it looks really nice. So yeah, overall I got Super 80 on the engine too. So yeah, all that came together very nicely, and it's certainly a really good looking aircraft. So yeah, super excited to have this, looking very strong. So what we'll do from here is do the 1-200s, and then we will be in good shape. So let's just go ahead and get right to the 1-200s, everybody. Alrighty everybody, this is actually a different day. These got stuffed in the memorabilia bag, so you'll see my reaction at some point. I was like, man, I completely forgot about these. But anyway, these come from ROC Aviation. Gavin, thank you so much for these really cool models, my friend. We have two NGs here, two very interesting ones. We have the Air India Boeing 777-200LR in the previous livery, and also the Turkish Airlines Airbus A330-200. So excited to have both these. I think they'll be really cool. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Air India, and then we'll take a look at the Turkish. So here it is, the Air India Boeing 777-200LR, here by none other than NG models. Here's the box, of course, and you have a pretty cool design here, obviously to reflect their sun emblem here. So that's pretty cool. Boeing 777-200LR, Air India. It's Victor Tango Alpha Echo Golf. Taking a look here at the side profiles. And as always, all my thoughts go out to everybody on that Air India flight earlier this summer. Super unfortunate, thinking of them every day. But let's go ahead and take a look at this aircraft. So this is actually before they came with character cards and all that, or not character cards, say that every time, collector award plan cards. So yeah, here it is. I think this release came out a good couple of years ago at this point. I don't have an exact time frame for you all, but definitely, you know, not lately, to put it simply. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this aircraft, everybody. And once again, thank you as always, Layover Layouts, for the really cool board. Super glad to get to feature it, and this is a really cool setup, and you'll be seeing more gates and such like this here hopefully within a couple months. We'll see how long the project I'm working on takes to get to fruition. A couple moving pieces to it, but you all will enjoy it very much. But there it is, the Air India Boeing 777-200. This is the LR. So once again, really happy to feature this. I think it's a very cool aircraft, and I'm really excited to utilize it and take it to the next level. So with that being said, we won't waste any further time and go ahead and start with the details of the Air India LR. And there'll be a couple aircraft landing in the background. That's just an American CRJ, but I'm actually close to the airport here. I was attempting to catch Florida 1 today here at Charlotte, and it did a sidestep and went from the right runway to the left runway, not even center, just straight right to left. So that was impressive. So found the closest place I could to film to improvise after that frustration. So here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone. You got some windshield wipers and so forth. You have the Air India flag, or actually India flag, I'm sorry, the Star Alliance logo. Here's the L1 door. And the nose landing gear, obviously really note that nose shape on the LR. We'll certainly get into it on the wings, but certainly always interesting to see the LR. Here's the L1 door right here, and you got the Air India titles in their native language. Obviously the first class area is gonna be up here, and you got the L2 door. And then you'll have into the premium economy, the business class, and so forth. The Wi-Fi box and the antennas, they look pretty good. There's 3 total antennas here on the top. Here's the leading edge of the wing, and NG just never fails in regards to the wing root. It's one of their most precise assets, and if they can continue to release more variety, which this is currently being filmed on July 26th, they have made some really good future previews. If that trajectory can't continue, we certainly will be in business. But today they just announced the Duncan JetBlue 320, and they have actually had some other good ones like the Korean 748, the Air India 789, you know, the Starlux A350-1000, some popular aircraft that people actually want to see. But anyway, here's the wing. You can certainly see the precise cut. This side's a pretty good example. Really look at that wingtip, but definitely if we look on the other side here, you can definitely see the details there. Here's the engine and the cowling on there, which is quite awesome too. NG does a good job there on the 777 detail, and there's no doubt about with this aircraft. And you can see the back of the aircraft here. Let me get back to where you can actually tell what we're doing here a little bit. So here's the back portion, the fuselage here. You can see the L3 door. This is just all economy here, and obviously the livery, not too much crazy. We do have a red orangish underbelly. I'll take a look at that here in a moment. But anyway, the registration's Victor Tango Alpha Echo Golf once again. And then of course you got the Air India tail, which is a pretty cool one. You got the APU detail back here as well, horizontal stabilizer. Just overall very impressive effort here by NG and obviously what they do. We're going to take a look here at the right side of the aircraft, of which we have those Air India titles once again. And you have the cockpit windows and some other such details. But the big one are these cargo doors. I did just recently order some Jet Set white ground service equipment to go with my yellow, so that'll be helpful for, you know, the yellow will be good for, you know, I think I'll mainly use those on cargo, but the white really looks good on FedEx, and then obviously these international wide bodies, so I'll be excited to feature that. Top of the aircraft obviously looks very nice, very diligent, so very happy about that. And the bottom, you got the stand hole. You have one more antenna. You can probably see it there pretty good. But yeah, you get orangish reddish color. So yeah, it's a very nice model. Great job there by none other than NG. Another very good effort, and why we have to continue to have faith, and hopefully the variety will come with that. So very good aircraft right there. Let's take a look at our next one. So the Turkish Airlines Airbus A330-200 is certainly a really quality addition. I do have the Boeing 787-9 What's cool about this aircraft though is this will be really neat for Coral Sea particularly. Turkish flies the Airbus A330s to several places in Europe and Asia. So these rarely make it to the United States. The 300s a little bit, but the 200s I don't think really at all. So this will be a cool aircraft kind of feature, and I am really interested in how some of these airlines like Finnair and Turkish utilize the 330 on some high demand shorter flights around their hub airports. In this case, obviously like Zurich to Istanbul, but then obviously you have, you know, the A350s and so forth. That's what happens when you're filming in the 90-degree weather. But anyway, it's only like 10 a.m. so I don't know what more I can do at this point. What I can do is show you all this box. So yeah, really cool gradient and so forth. So with that said, let's not waste any additional time before this camera overheats again, and go ahead and take a look. Now, of course, the A330s come with the styrofoam, which is quite nice, helpful for not getting damaged and so forth. But yeah, another aircraft that's in perfect condition. It's crazy that I've got several of these wide bodies from Mr. Gavin himself. It's been pretty cool, so appreciate his contributions to my international fleet, because I got the Aer Lingus and Lufthansa A350 from him as well. So yeah, it's definitely been fun to, you know, get these aircraft from Gavin, and I've definitely enjoyed the process throughout. So here it is, the Turkish Airlines A330-200 by NG models. So another really good effort all around. It's a very nice looking aircraft. Get some more light on it right there. So yeah, certainly happy to have it, and I think it's going to be quite a nice addition for the collection. So with that being said, let's not waste any additional time and go ahead and zoom in and get started on this aircraft too. So very similar, you got the cockpit windows and the nose cone. You got another Star Alliance offering, of course. You got the titles down there. I can't tell exactly what it says. Here's the L1 door right here, and then of course you have the first class. I think the product on these are a little bit older. I want to say AS Aviation might have flown one, so I need to check out the trip reports out there and see what these aircraft are all about. But yeah, nose landing gear looks quite nice, and you got the Turkish Airlines billboard titles, which are very nice and distinctive on this particular aircraft, so that's nice. And you got the L2 door, little stub Wi-Fi box, the big one's coming up later, and you have the first antenna there. Once again, 3 on the top, and then yeah, I really like the proportions of the 330-200. I think it's quite a cool aircraft. Probably the most interesting part of the A330 is definitely the depth of how far out these engines are. They're really far out compared to other aircraft like the Boeing 777 and A350. So yeah, it's quite an interesting design. So you can kind of get a good look at it there with the leading edge of the wing, and then turning it around here when you take a look here at the back side, which is also quite nice. So yeah, overall a pretty good look there, and it definitely is looking really strong, so happy to see that. But then you got the wing root and the actual flap slats, speed brakes, so on and so forth. So yeah, all that looks really nice, and certainly happy with how all that came together, so that's looking really cool. You have the really nice Turkish flag here, and then of course you have the emblem there, which is pretty cool. So I really like that, and it's interesting how some manufacturers get it more in depth than others. In this case, I think NG did a good job to get it pretty good. You have the 2 antennas in the Wi-Fi box here, and you have the Airbus A330 titles, no 200, just A330, and then you have the registration. This particular aircraft is Charlie, Tango Charlie, Juliet, and then we have the Caddy Courier registration. Forgot to mention that on the last model, but here it is. Looks really nice. Love the wing tips on this, and you got Turkish Airlines on the bottom, which is also quite cool. You have the main landing gear and so forth, and all the pieces of the puzzle right here. So yeah, again, another really good looking aircraft. Big fan of how this came together, and overall it is looking quite nice. So with that, let's jump back into the main portion of the video. Alright everybody, a new day, looks the exact same. I'm way fresher today, so very excited for our next aircraft. This is going to start our 1-200 lineup, and right here we have the Gemini 200 1-200 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A320. Huge thank you to Aviation LES. He was super nice to gift this to me. Can't thank him enough. Definitely check out his channel. He makes a bunch of really cool videos, plane spotting and model unboxings and model airports and so forth. But with that said, let's continue the flow. You got 25th anniversary here, 2023, here's Delta titles, and here's the Airbus A320, even though it just has the one exit door there. It kind of looks like a 319, which I actually think it is a 319, so that's kind of a funny goof. So yeah, I've actually really kind of wanted one of these because they actually look pretty good. This was a 2024 release, so very recent. So once again, very excited to have this aircraft. I think it's going to be a really cool one. So let's just go ahead and pop it open. It does come with the stand, but obviously for the sake of this video, I'm not going to feature that just for the sake of logistics. And it is an A320, I can assure you that. So yeah, looking sharp, super glad to have it here. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this off, and it actually is going to look pretty good here at our heavy hybrid. So that's actually kind of cool. I apologize if the headphone went over the cord there at some point. Well, let me just go ahead and bring it up. And here it is, the Gemini 200 1-200 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A320. So once again, very excited to have this aircraft. I certainly think it's looking quite nice, and this will definitely be a tremendous asset here to utilize for a very long time to come. So again, very excited to have it. Without any further delay, we're not going to waste any further time and just go ahead and I'm going to zoom her on in. And we're going to take a look here at the aircraft. And I will lower it just a little bit. And it looks really good on this heavy hybrid, which is the funniest part of the whole deal. Anyway, with that said, we're not going to waste any further time, and I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to take a look. So here's the cockpit windows here, along with the nose cone looking quite sharp. You got the panel detail right here as well, and you got the SkyTeam logo right here too. Here's the L1 door, and then you have the various stickers and so forth here for Delta. And here's nose landing gear door. Yeah, really sharp detail, looks very nice. Obviously doesn't pivot with it being fixed in there, but there's no problem with that. Here's the Delta billboard titles, and you have the first class area here. Delta, I think, has like 150 seats on their A320s. And you got the Comfort Plus seats back here as well, looking quite strong. We'll continue to move throughout the aircraft. Here's an antenna up here on the top, and you got the beacon as well, and the overwing exits with the emergency exit here on the wing. They look very sharp. This also is a very firm aircraft, quite a bit of weight to it, so that's pretty cool. Got the CFMs here looking pretty sharp, and you have the wing detail there with the flap slats and speed brakes. Overall, phenomenal detail, and they did a good job. Main landing gear also looking quite nice, so certainly happy with the results there. And you can see the back of the aircraft here as we continue throughout. Looks really nice there with the panel detail. And then we continue here with the rest of the normal economy section. We just have the one Wi-Fi box back here, no additional antennas or so forth. And you got the registration, which is November 376, November Whiskey. And then you have the Delta Airlines tail back there. The fleet code of this aircraft is 3276. And you have the APU, horizontal stabilizers, and all those applicable details. When spinning this aircraft over to the right, you'll see pretty similar features to it here. You do have the baggage door there in the front, which is quite nice. And you do have a baggage door there in the back as well. And you also have a stub antenna back there, so that's pretty cool to note. Let's take a look at the top of the aircraft. Certainly looking strong, good detail and all throughout. Definitely a very strong offering. Bottom, you do have the Delta billboard title, so that's looking strong, and the Gemini Jets logo, and you have a stub antenna, or two stub antennas, and a normal antenna down there that we didn't really note very well, so you can see those a little better from here. So yeah, super excited to have this Aviation LAS. Thank you so much. I'll be excited to do unboxings on all these 1-200s, give them a little bit more proper, recognition, because obviously they're really cool. So with that said, let's take a look at our next aircraft. So very excited to have this one as well. Got a very good deal on this. I think it was like 70 bucks, just one of the vendors, I believe it was the vendor next to West Coast Diecast. I offered up 70 bucks and he took it at the very end of the show. So this was a pretty last minute one. This is the in-flight 200, 1-200 scale American Airlines Airbus A321 stand up to cancer. So another cool aircraft. This will pair up nicely with flagship Valor. And again, I'm all about the value, and this one's definitely great value. This retails probably close to $115. So getting it for 70, I think is a great price. So A321, here's the American CGI. You have the actual CGI of the aircraft, 1262 Alpha Alpha in-flight 200. So yeah, definitely all about value. I know my American 1-200 fleet is certainly plenty big, and they have the app, which I've never been able to figure out. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get it out here. So yeah, my in-flight collection's growing pretty steadily. I think this is like my 6th one maybe. So the 1-200 fleet in general. I'll be excited to do the numbers once I'm able to update my Macbook profile and see kind of what we got going, because I'm sure that it's coming up pretty fast. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, anyway, here's the aircraft inside. I haven't even put the landing gear on this yet, so let's just go ahead and take it out. So as you can tell, stunning looking aircraft, and I'll go ahead and quickly put on the landing gear here for us today. So obviously just in a normal bag here. I did put the landing gear on the United, which you'll see next, and very excited about that aircraft, but needed to be able to display that there on the ground since the stand was a little tougher to get going in the moment when I needed it most. This landing gears just insert very calm and pleasantly. There's not really much to the story there in regards to getting them going. They have durable magnets and all of what you'd like to see. So yeah, overall, very glad to have this aircraft. I think this is another really high quality addition, and I'm definitely gonna have to use this base now for my 1-200 narrow bodies, because it is a really solid offering in regards to the size is literally perfect. So obviously it's supposed to represent a wide body 1-400 aircraft, and the lines really aren't quite proportional for a 1-200, but you make do with what you have. And layover layouts, thank you again for the generosity. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the American A321neo. Or sorry, I flew A321neo last night, so that's why I guess I'm saying A321neo. American A321 stamped cancer. So very good looking aircraft, good color, it looks really sharp. So what are we waiting for? Let's just go ahead and get into the intricate details of the in-flight 200 A321 mold. And I think this is my first A321. I know I do have the A321neo for United. Here's the cockpit windows and the nose cone. You have the antenna up here, and then the L1 door. You have the A321 titles here and some pitot tubes and other panel details. One World logo, lever and window. Here's the nose landing gear, which is really nice, and I think it does pivot, which is cool. And as you can tell, very magnetic and easy to fit in there, so quite nice to say the least. And you got the American Airlines billboard titles. They look pretty strong as well, and I think they did a good job on the details there. A couple more panel details, and of course, first class up here for student cancer, 16 seats or so. Then as you progress here to the L2 door, you got some additional good details. I think it's safe to say that the best part of the American Airlines experience is definitely the livery. I'm just kidding. Anyway, Economy Plus can be found through here. And then you get into main cabin. Here's the IAEs on the A321, phenomenal detail. They look very good, as you can tell, just really intricate, very good on details. You can kind of pivot the board here a little bit so you can see kind of the sideways profile here of what it's looking like. So overall, Nevada won. I really wanted to catch it. I thought about it. But anyway, you know, it happens to the best of us. So we did catch it. We're just on the wrong side of the light. Need to come over here and film one morning. That would be fun. I might attempt to do that this weekend. I didn't even think about filming in the morning. That's a great idea. So, because when I got here in Charlotte initially, I didn't. Sorry about that, everybody. We'll see if the iPhone doesn't overheat quite as bad this time, and I'm going to go ahead and turn the brightness down now so that it hopefully has a better opportunity. But anyway, as you can tell, very good looking aircraft. Just look at those engines. They look very nice. Middle of the fuselage here, very good detail, very intricate, and overall really sharp. And speaking of sharp, these wings in the sharklets, very good job on the detail. Sharklet shape maybe seems a little off, but I mean, not very noticeable. I think it's really good. And certainly very happy with how all that came together. So looking very strong with that effort right there. Got the beacon there in the middle, also looking strong. You got the L3 door, and then obviously one of the coolest pieces of the standard cancer livery is that all the names of everybody affected by cancer on here that I believe work in American. So every arrow has hundreds, and I think some of them have thousands of names on them, which is so cool. So you got the antenna right here, and then obviously to the back you have the piece underneath for the RAF, I believe, and you got the two various antennas right here along with the stub antenna. You get the Wi-Fi box and another antenna, so as you can tell, quite a few antennas compared to the Delta. Here's the L3 door, and then you got the tail here, the American Airlines tail. Looks really nice, very good job on the detail, and then the back of it here, just getting a really good look at it. So overall, really strong, and definitely happy with how all that came to be. If I turn it over to the right, you all will see some of the additional details here on this side of the aircraft. Yeah, just good job overall putting it all together, and it came out very nicely. So very happy with the result, and overall it is a very good looking aircraft from these profiles. Now if we take a look at the top, you can see that the details look very nice, and overall a really good effort. So definitely happy with how all that came to be. Bottom, you got the stub antennas, the stand hole, and of course the air inlets nicely marked there. So yeah, and you got the stub antenna back here if I forgot to mention that. So yeah, this is a really nice model. So glad to have this, and this definitely will look strong in the collection for a long time to come. So very excited to have that one too. Let me diligently place it over there. And let's take a look at our next aircraft, everybody. So our next aircraft is going to be the NG models. First, NG models narrow body. I have CRJs and a couple of private jets in 1-200, but not a mainline aircraft. This is the United Airlines Boeing 737-900. So very excited to have this. I believe it's an ER as well. If not, then all good. But yeah, very excited to have this aircraft. This is a really good looking plane. This aircraft's been really special. I've flown a good handful, but also seen them at TUL. And yeah, deal was awesome. I got, I think, $80 once again. So very happy to keep knocking out these spectacular deals, and this is no exception. So United Boeing 737-900, here's CGI, and then you have a really cool box design here. 385-458. This is a pretty recent release. This came out in May, I believe. So yeah, can't quite get the foam to go all the way in. I've made several efforts on the intricate way of doing that, but nevertheless, it is a really cool box. So obviously you have this paper shell, like any 1-200 pretty much, but then you have the actual box itself. So if I flip it over here, you're gonna see here's where it's supposed to be. And then if we go ahead and raise it, you have the product assembly instructions, and then the actual foam itself. And if you diligently pull it, I like the catty corner there, that's a really smart detail. If you diligently pull it, you have the aircraft inside. So let me just go ahead and slowly but surely get it going here so you all can see kind of what we're doing. Let me see if I can get this foam out of the way enough to make this a little bit easier and make sure the camera's going because I don't want it to overheat again. And then yeah, so here's the stand right here. I will go ahead and, for the sake of what we're doing here, go ahead and leave it, but I'll briefly show you all actually. And then I actually haven't put it in the landing gear, so I'll actually just go ahead and put it on the stand. you got to decide between one or the other. It seems like on 1-200s, either you put it in the gear or you put it on the stand. So let me make sure I get the plastic here and make sure this camera's not overheating. Surprisingly not, so we love that. And I'll just slide that to the back at this point. So yeah, very nice, very impressive stand. I just got it in 1-400 the other day too. Ironically, you saw that in the previous unboxing. So there's the actual put in there, and then you take the plastic piece and you put it right on here and you just put it back there, just like so. And then you actually take the aircraft and you put it on like that. And boom, what a good looking United 737-900ER. So I love the stand. I think it makes it look extremely professional and high quality, which I think is very valuable. I know it's a little far there, but anyway, let's see if I can get a better view of it. So there it is, the United Airlines Boeing 737-900ER in 1-200 scale. Very excited to have this aircraft. I think it's a really cool one, and overall, just an absolute treat to have it. So with that said, we won't waste any further time and go ahead and take a look here at the aircraft. Well, that's our goal here, is to get it to focus on the aircraft, and we'll take a look at it. All right, let's go ahead and get started now that we have some decent focus. So here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone. You got some pitot tubes. Connecting People United the World titles right there, and the Star Alliance logo. Here's the L1 door, and nose landing gear would go right here. In the unboxing, we will certainly take a better look at that. And yeah, you got the line right here as well, and you got the cheat line going up and throughout. Here's the L1 door, and you got the United Airlines billboard titles right here. They look really nice, and overall, very good job on the intricate portion. You got the red antenna, and then you got the beacon and the normal antenna there. Obviously, it sits nice and snug on the stand. Here's a really good look at it, and the 1-400 is just scaled down. But I think it's honestly a really good design. It's not quite as obvious, but you know, it would be nice to have a stand hole, but I mean, it's a good substitute, so can't nose it too much, but certainly could be some discussion about that. But anyway, you got the 3D beacon along with the antenna up there, and then you have the actual CFM56 and then the wing detail. Awesome job on the Scimitar winglets, very good detail, just looks amazing. And then you got the back here with the wing detail here along with the emergency exit right there. And yeah, let me go ahead and point this up a little bit so y'all can get a good look here at the top. Just great job and pouring it all over. It looks really strong, so happy about that. Wi-Fi box, and then you got the registration of the aircraft, which is November 38458, US flag, and then you got the last antenna there before you get into the United Airlines tail. Certainly looks really nice. Happy with how all that came together, and yeah, just good detail throughout. It looks really strong. So yeah, very happy with how all that came to be. There's no doubt about that. Let me see if I can go ahead and turn this aircraft on around. You get some really good views here, and the stand's easy to maneuver, which is nice. You got 2 baggage doors here as well. Get a good look at those. Top of the aircraft, very strong. Really good job on the printing, and overall it looks really nice. And the bottom of the aircraft, same story, phenomenal detail, and it certainly looks really nice. So very happy with how all this came to be. Very good aircraft, and now we are on to the grand finale. So this is also a last minute purchase. I thought DG Pilot deserves some more support. So, you know, it's not every day that, you know, I go in with saying that I'm gonna buy an aircraft like this, but this was $100. I thought the deal was really good, and despite it not being a, you know, premier aircraft that's really active and, you know, one that I've seen all the time, I still thought it was a great deal. So here's the Singapore Airlines Boeing 777-300 non-ER. So yeah, very excited to have this. I'm just gonna go ahead and flop that over there, hopefully without breaking any aircraft. So yeah, very excited to have this aircraft. I think it's gonna be a really cool one here in the fleet, and I'm really eager to see what this is gonna be all about. So same as the United, in the unboxing, we'll take a look here at the actual intricate portions, but in this video today, we're going to focus on the actual model itself, and you just use the stand here as our holder. So let me just go ahead and plop this back in, and go ahead and make sure the camera does not stop. This is too good of an opportunity. And let me go ahead and get that going right there, and boom. So yeah, yet another in-flight aircraft. Definitely very excited to have yet another one, and this is a really cool aircraft for quite a variety of reasons. So overall, super strong, really happy to have this aircraft, and I think it looks really cool. So with that being said, let's not waste any further time and go ahead and see if we have a little bit better luck here on our focus, and I think we're going to, so love that. So let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, that's the right angle for the light. So I said that we were gonna have better luck. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So here's the cockpit windows here along with the nose cone. You got the Star Alliance logo. Here's the L1 door. Singapore Airlines billboard titles. You got the L1 door and L2. Obviously pitot tubes and some various panel details throughout here and then down here. So yeah, you get the first class up here. Pretty premium Singapore Airlines, very nice airline. Flew the 350 from Barcelona to Milan, pretty quick freedom flight, but it was certainly a blast. And yeah, you got the L2 door here with the business class and then into the premium economy and the normal economy and so forth. And then you got the beacon up there, which looks like that it tried to plop up a little too much, but that actually might be how it's supposed to be. So I'll have to take a look at that, but overall not too bad right there. Got the antenna right here in Singapore Airlines, so that's looking strong. Got the leading edge of the wing here along with the air inlet. You can see it really nicely. So yeah, very strong detail there, no doubt. Very impressive effort in regards to the design. And you got the Singapore flag there too. There's the engine. Now this is one of Singapore's original wide bodies. I'm not sure exactly what they were using at this time, but certainly looking very sharp no matter what the case is. You have the rest of the leading edge of the wing. Very good detail and overall looking really strong. At the back of the wing here as well with really good details, and that certainly came together very nicely. So happy about the full composition of that. And you got some panel detail here. Takes you onto the L3 door with the emergency exit. If I didn't get a very good view of that previously, here's a better view of it now. Happy with how that came together. It looks very nice. And yeah, you got the L4 door looking quite nice. You got the Wi-Fi box and 3 more antennas back here. The registration of this aircraft's 9 Victor Sierra Yankee Hotel. So definitely a nice fitting registration there. And you got the L5 door along with the rest of the economy class. They have pulled quite a few economy here on this aircraft. And there's the tail fin right there with the Singapore logo, and you got the horizontal stabilizers, APU, and all the additional details looking quite strong. And you can see a really good head-on shot of it right there. And then if I take you onto the right side of the aircraft, you can see the baggage door right there. Still looking strong. We actually focused this time, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, it gets a really good vertical rate on the stand. There's no doubt about it. And yeah, you get the engine, and really note these wings. Obviously, they're fixed in quite a bit, and that's because it's obviously a non-ER. So while it still has some very capable range, it certainly cannot go as far as a 777-300ER or any sort of other longer range wide body aircraft. So yeah, this is a very good looking plane. Super excited to have it. And yeah, this is really cool. It's pretty diligent, so I'll just go ahead and leave it here. But yeah, I really hope all of you enjoyed all the aircraft. It was so fun to put this together, and I hope the editing went good throughout because you'll see memorabilia and so forth too. But with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, as you can see, I got all the models here, landed a little short on time, so just thought I'd go ahead and make sure that I got the shot because we know how we feel about lighting around here. But anyway, very happy with this. I hope all of you are excited to see this here, and why not? We got an American 777. Let's just go ahead and spot it. I will say I don't love living in small town Oklahoma, but it does make it easier to film because it's not nearly as distracting. So there's an American 777 for you all right there, looking good. And yeah, that's very nice. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the aircraft, and I'll give you a closer up look at the 1-200 since I know we didn't get the chance to actually unbox those in this clip, but I'll probably just do a follow-up so that we're able to see them. So let me just go ahead and show you all what we're doing here. So we got the American Airlines MD-80 looking very strong, and certainly very happy to see this right here. What a great looking aircraft. Delta Airlines McDonnell Douglas MD-88 looking very strong. Very good aircraft added to the collection here and certainly looking quite nice. Got the Aeromexico 737-800, couldn't really get it in a good place there without it, you know, just flopping around, but that's all right. So looking very nice, and so glad to have the new livery. It's really cool. The Allegiant Air Airbus E320, another really good aircraft for the fleet here, and I think a very quality addition in so many ways. Got the Delta 100 Years Airbus E321, another very high quality addition, and I think that NG did a spectacular job on it. House Boeing 767-400, another aircraft I'm very thrilled to have, and it looks really good. United Boeing 777-200, very special aircraft. About time that I was able to get one, and yeah, so glad it worked out here. Along with the Boeing 787-8, great variety for great planes. It's gonna look really nice. And the 787-9, stunning aircraft, and it's certainly just immaculate in all ways. Got the Saudi Boeing 787-9. I think that's a really cool international aircraft. I'll have to make some critical decisions on what's next, but I think that was a really good choice. Delta Boeing 777-400, very excited to have this aircraft in breast cancer awareness, and certainly what a great throwback, and really glad to finally get that back in the collection. The LA-28 Delta A350, another aircraft I'm super thrilled to have, and it looks really good, so I think that was a really good choice. Got the 100 Years Airbus A350, another high quality aircraft. I'm very excited to have it there. And the Boeing 777-300, another really nice gem, very good price, and I think that was a really good choice in so many different ways. And the 1-200s, which I made a separate clip for, Delta Airlines A320, thank you so much, LAS. Really cool plane to have, and great to continue to expand my Delta narrow-body fleet, and I'm pretty much ready to make a 1-200 airport at this point. Just need to get the ball rolling on that this fall. The Boeing Business Jet, nice snag for $10. I think that was a great choice. My first NG narrow-body for first NG narrow body is this United Boeing 737-900ER. What a great aircraft to do it with. I think that's a really good choice. Got a great still in the Singapore Boeing 777-300, non-ER, just 300. So I think it's really cool, even though the stand says ER, but I digress. So that's still a really cool aircraft. I'm very happy to have it. American Airlines stand Cancer A321. It's a really good one. I think it's a very high quality release here for the fleet. So certainly very glad to get to feature it. Got the American NV80, thank you Dave, very much appreciated. Air 2077, nice free offering, and then these 4 plastic aircraft in the back looking very strong, and certainly very glad to get to feature them right here. So yeah, what a fleet everybody. I really hope all of you enjoyed this. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments below, and overall I think it was a really good assortment pickup there. We got some really good aircraft, and the car did a great job for this video, so I apologize, it's a little bit of a mess, but we did the best we could with the setup that we had. So that's it, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe, just process. Do you love and love you do. My name is CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. The CM Aviation is signing off.